to talk about what are the most impressive things that you can flex with in Final Fantasy XIV. Now, things, it's intentionally vague because things can mean anything, really. It could be a mount, it could be a gear set, it could be a title, just anything that is very, very prestigious and impressive. Something
I want to learn how to flex.
That it's clear just by looking at it that this guy no-lifed the game or got insanely lucky, or there's something else very special or notable about them that you can tell because they have this thing. It can't just be anything that took a long time and not just a rare for the sake of being rare. It's got to be more than that. Something that you look at and go, damn, this guy, like, get a load of this guy, like, in a good way. Some major factors that I considered when compiling this list include determined effort spent. So you had to kind of work towards it. Lasting achievements, not just something that's temporary, that's cool now, but maybe won't be so cool later. Like, it's always got to be cool. And recognizability, something that the majority of people, I guess people at endgame, players have been playing a little while, they can recognize that and say, yes, that is cool. Wow. Yep. That's because that's the thing that gives it prestige. Other people recognizing that it is cool. Some examples of things that I left out, and here's why. Something like the Amara. Yeah, it takes a while to get because it means you have to get all your battle jobs to 80, but for me, I was able to pretty lazily.
What the fuck is this thing? I don't care how hard it is to get. That cannot be a flex. That will never be a flex. Camel bird? What is it? Like, ew. That will never be a flex.
Easily do it, and I think that if you just put enough time doing it, it's not very hard at all. So I don't think it meets the standard of super duper impressiveness. Mounts you get from clearing a savage tier.
I gotta tell Zepla to take these out. Hey, YouTube content creators. Directories are great for your viewers, but they're bad for your stats. So fuck them.
While impressive when the raid is new, don't retain that high status forever because later on you can unsync those raids, the gear gets better, echo gets added.
It helps your viewers skip your content. It literally helps your viewers skip your content so you farm less minutes watched, which hurts you in the algorithm. Fuck them. Don't help them. Make them watch the whole fucking video. Just make sure they know that everything's going to be in the video so they have to watch the whole fucking thing. Yeah, don't help them. Don't help them skip. Fuck them.
And killing the bosses becomes trivial. So I think because of that, the mounts lose some of the wow factor they had when the raids were new. Similarly, you can unsync old trials, making them super easy while you farm for the trial mounts. So while it is cool to get those mounts and the meta mounts, I think that on unsynced, the bosses are pretty much just loot pinatas. So
true.
I think that does disqualify them from making my list of most.
Zepla, I know you haven't watched me play yet, but even when they are synced, they're just loot pinatas.
Just impressivest things. As for minions, some of them are rare, but I think that the problem with minions is most people don't know which ones are rare. Like, I think that in compiling this list, the notoriety and the general understanding that the thing is rare matters a lot. It can't be overly niche that only minion collectors would know that this thing took you a long time. Rare for the sake of being rare isn't that good because there's a store amount that is actually very rare according to FFXIV Collect, but it's just rare because nobody wants to buy it. So like, rarity doesn't always equal goodity. Some of these things are more like categories because it just makes more sense to do it that way. Yes, this will be all colored by my personal opinions, but I would wager that all these things are things that most people would be very impressed by were you to flex them openly.
Did she say goodity? Or am I twisted? I could have swore she said goodity.
Ultimate weapons, the ultimate flex. So these are from clearing the hardest content in the game. The yellow ones are from the Unending Coil of Bahamut Ultimate, also known as UCOB, and it also gives the legend title. The blue ones are from the Weapons Refrain Ultimate, also known as Uwu. which gives you the Ultimate Legend title. And the shiny ones with like the time machine stuff and the cogs all over it are
what I'm going to get first. That's what she's about to say. What Rich is going to get in a week.
So, yeah, some of the cogs are pretty big too. You got some big cogs on some of these. Those are from the Epic of Alexander Ultimate, aka T, which also gives the perfect legend title. When I first saw these weapons, I thought to myself, I will never be able to get one of these weapons. Like, this is way beyond me. This is a league far, far above what I am personally capable of. And that turned out to be not correct. You know, sometimes seeing things like this in the game, they make you strive for more. They make you want to be better. And
that's what we call a good game.
These ultimate weapons represent to me. Having an ultimate weapon is proof that you are good at the game, or at least you were able to not be bad for a full 20 minutes. It's kind of more my situation. The Necromancer title. This would be awesome to have on Reaper. Side note. Similarly, the Lone Hero title, though let's be honest, Necromancer sounds way cooler. These are extremely rare titles that you get from soloing a deep dungeon. Necromancer is from House of the Dead, and Lone Hero is from Heaven on High. What I want to show you that I think will help you understand why this is so insane is this clip from Meiji. Now, Meiji is the one that wrote the guide, like the guide for House of the Dead that I will link below. I'll also link to their Twitch below and their YouTube channel. Okay, just for some context. House of the Dead, to clear it, to do the solo clear, you have to get to the final floor, which is floor 200. And as you progress through it, the floors get harder and harder and harder. And here's a clip of what it was like for one of the best House of the Dead players in the world to fight one mob, a mimic, on a very, very high floor, floor 192. So you can just look from this clip the level of kiting that is required. They're popping potions constantly.
You just pull one at a time.
More than one hit.
You just pull one thing at a time.
This is without steel. So steel is a buff that you can get for yourself, but I mean, a lot of this is about luck. You might not have that buff available.
And you just use, I'm going to play Summoner, you just use your Titan Edgy.
For yourself, and in that case,
you heal it with physique.
Pure kiting skill to survive the situation. And if you die, that's it. Your run is over. So you have to make it from floor 1 to floor 200 solo, all on your own, to get the Necromancer title.
Yeah, I'll probably just get this.
Track down somebody
soon.
On my data center who has both titles and cleared House of the Dead not once but 3 different times. It might have been more than that, because I talked to them at the end of June, and he said he was still going for more clears then. So this is Sadie Sassafras on Lich. I was like, why? Why are you going for more clears? Like, why would you suffer more? You already have the title. And he said that he wanted to get back on the leaderboard for Machinist as his clear got pushed off. So yeah, there are rankings that you can check here. It is public for everyone to see. He also said that it's a good time sink, and it is fun to go in on other jobs to see how they handle stuff.
I'm going to be honest. I will never understand. Like, I somewhat understand, but cannot fully understand speedrunners. They are the coolest. But, like, I will never have that mindset, and I just know that. Miz, if you consider Miz a speedrunner, then I'm a professional football player. Are you fucking kidding me? Jesus Christ. I'm talking about like the fucking legends, man. Do you guys know the story of the Ninja Gaiden speedruns? Arcus, dude. Simply's a god too, yeah. Dude, that guy, he literally beat the record, and then Arcus goes, you know what? I'm going to do it again. He goes, I'm going to do it again. He didn't even wait 5 minutes before he tried to beat his own record. Like, what the fuck? Quinn Pro Speedrunner? Yeah, he's probably on these leaderboards, right?
up in there. Like, clearly he just enjoys the content itself. That's what keeps him coming back. He said that compared to something like Savage, a Deep Dungeon solo calls for a massive time commitment, and it's just a huge personal responsibility.
Watch Summoning Salt. I love Summoning Salt. I haven't watched Summoning Salt in a while,
though. It's nice knowing that if I mess up, it's on me. There's no chance of someone else ruining a run. Now, when I talked to Sadie a little while ago, he said that he had a Scholar run sitting at 110, but I can already see here from the leaderboards that his Scholar run is at 186, which is pretty impressive because some jobs like Scholar are even harder to do on this than other jobs. So he's like added a new level of nightmare mode to something that's already a nightmare mode content, like just for the lulz, pretty much. Sadie also suggested that I give a shout out to Angelus Demonos, whose name I actually did hear a week or two ago when I heard that Angelus had soloed Heaven on High on every single job. Sadie said that Angelus does streams that are like how to do Palace of the Dead from 1 to 200 that were helpful, and puts his clears up on YouTube as well. So I'll link to all that in the description box. Definitely worth checking out.
Fucking crazy.
Soloing. I also
absolutely crazy.
Else that he wanted to suggest to you buns who might be considering this, and he said, do not be disheartened if you die early on in the climb. The first few floors can be bad if you're under-leveled in Palace, or if you get ambushed by patrols in Heaven on High. I never played Machinist before trying out solo Deep Dungeon, and I managed to get there, so anybody else watching can't. I thought that was really crazy.
What
so,
the
like,
fuck?
He wasn't even like a pro Machinist player. He didn't even play Machinist before doing this achievement, so that should be encouraging for some of y'all.
I'll play Machinist right now.
PvP loot. So I've kind of put this all in one category because honestly, all PvP mounts are rare since like, so few people do the content. Though I kind of do feel like that is changing lately, but that's a subject for another day. I kind of wanted to focus more on all of the unobtainable PvP mounts that are super rare, like the feast rewards from getting top 100 in the feast in a previous season, because like once the season rewards are out, that's it. You can never get those rewards again, so it's a good reason to go do the feast while it's current. Sometimes the reward for feast
What's the
top 100
feast?
is not a mount, but instead
is that like a
really
season
cool
in WoW?
armor sets, which was the case in season 18 and 19. The Samurai and my static Makopsy actually has this, and all the time.
Is it like
every
one
day.
season?
People even DM me on Twitter to ask where he got this armor because it's super cool and super rare. And I'm like, I mean, sorry, that ship has sailed. You should have done Feast season 18 or 19 because now you cannot get it anymore. Best you can do is feast your eyes on it. Modeling these PvP mounts for me here today is Rasumi Himawari from Shiva, the top mount collector on my data center, according to FFXIV Collect. So I don't know how accurate it is, but still pretty impressive. I asked Rasumi if they had to no life PvP to get top 100 for these mounts. And they actually said, no, it's not even that bad. In most seasons, it takes like 30 to 50 hours of work. If you play like 2 to 3 hours every day, you can spread it out a lot. Y'all should know that season 20 of the Feast is underway right now. So if you want to fight me, I mean, you can. I've been doing it. I've been doing it a good bit. It's the first time I've been ranking up in PvP. It's actually been pretty fun. But I bring it up because, not to tell you to fight me, but to tell you if you want the soon-to-be rare mount for...
Why'd she have to make the bunnies fight, man? Why'd she have to do that? Do bunnies punch each other? Is that what bunnies do? Can I watch a video of that? Is that allowed? Bunnies. Wait, what's this video? Bunny punches. Oh, that's why people say rabbit punches. I always thought people were saying rabid. Oh. Oh. Dude. I used to have a friend who would go, you have fucking rabbit punches. I thought he meant like I was fucking crazy, like I was a good fighter. He was shitting on me. Yo, fuck you, Rick, you fucking prick. Yo, fuck you. I'll literally, dude, this boy will beat the shit out of you right now, man. Where the fuck you at now? What are you doing? You fucking prick. Man, he was shit talking me the whole time. Fucking prick, dude. Rick the prick. Yeah, we used to call him, we used to call him, I'm nervous to say his name right now. We call him prick. Can I say it? Should I say his last name? I probably shouldn't. Man, fucking prick. Oh, man. Dude, I feel so fucking burned. I haven't seen him in 10 fucking years. I want to beat the shit out of him. He was like that one friend I had all through high school. He was one of my best friends where we would just fight all the time. You know, like we were like, he was like, we would just roughhouse and shit like that. He was a cool dude. Me, him, Jeffy, Nick, that group, we just roughhouse all day. And one time, Rick, he was blind on one side of his eye a little bit. And he went to punch Jeffy. Jeffy was on the floor, and I was sitting on my laptop playing WoW. And Rick just punched the screen of my laptop and destroyed my fucking laptop. Then I started beating the shit out of him, and then my dad got all mad. It was a whole fucking thing.
From season 20, the Dreadnought from ranking in the top 100 for this season. Now would be the time to do the feast. You might dread not doing it. The Tiger mount. Also the Triceratops mount from doing hunts.
Thank you for the prime.
Killing world bosses, basically. For the Tiger, you need to kill 3,000 A ranks and 2,000 S ranks, the S ranks being the brutal part, because they're often pretty difficult and weird to spawn. I know there are some S ranks that to get them to spawn, you need to go to their spawn location and just die repeatedly, like over and over and over, like maybe it'll spawn at some point. There's other...
Man, Asmon would be really good at summoning those.
You need to go to their spawn location and eat food or drink, and they might show up, or maybe you need to catch a particular fish, or maybe it just has to be during nights of the full moon. Like it sounds like a joke, but yeah, that's how a lot of these are. So some of them are kind of pain in the ass. The Triceratops requires you to kill 2,000 A rank elite marks and 1,000 S rank elite marks in Shadowbringer's zones. Rasumi, who has both of these mounts, told me that they went hard for like 6 months to get these.
Why are people asking me if I washed my feet? Oh, I'm getting one guide. I'm getting one guide. I literally just fell for it. It was just such it was just such a thing that I couldn't stop reading. And I thought that multiple people were saying it. I was like, why are multiple people asking me if I washed my feet? I'm getting fucking one guide. Did NMP just end stream or something? Is that what's going on? Did NMP just end stream?
These mounts. And I was like, when you say you went hard, what does that entail? And they said S ranks can take up to 132 hours to respawn. You had 3 copies per zone at Shadowbringer's launch and 6 servers with...
Yeah, I'm probably never getting this. Snicker, thank you very much for the prime. Go buy a Lambo. I don't want stuff like that. You know what I do want to do? I looked into doing it. It's not that expensive, all things considered, because it's a piece of shit. The thing that I want to buy is the house that my family got kicked out of. I want to buy the house that got foreclosed. Like we got foreclosed out of when I was a little kid. Or not a little kid. I was like a little bit older. I want to buy it, but it's not on the market. But it's like listed, like the price is listed, and it is a terrible investment. It's not worth that much money. But I feel like that's like a really good, like, fuck you kind of moment, you know, where it's like you feel like you won. Yeah. And I feel like it would make my parents happy. Make them an offer they can't refuse. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, that house ain't worth shit besides the sentimental value. Yeah. But I'm thinking about it. I mean, buying a house in Atlantic City is probably not a good investment. Yeah, but that's the only really expensive thing I want to buy. Also, I kind of want to buy, if it ever does become like a thing. I'm saving my money. Like, I'm genuinely saving my money for the off chance that they make us like a fully operational like robot girlfriend. I am buy one of those. That's what I want.
World travel, so you could get 50 realistically every 3 days, and per week something like 100. So yeah, 50 S ranks every 3 days or so for 6 months. They said they were in a Discord server for hunts and 4 different link shells to make sure they get all the call outs to be alerted when there's a hunt to go kill. And I do suggest you join those. I know Phaloop has been an amazing resource for this, so I'll put the links to that below. Basically, if you want these mounts, the hunt is going to become your end game. Like, that's how you got to earn your stripes. The Mentor Pegasus
she did it again!
mount, or the Astrope. This requires 2,000 Mentor roulettes.
The Astrope?
That is a roulette that you can get access to if you're a PvE Mentor, which means you've gotten 1,500 commendations, you've done 1,000 duties, and you have finished Crystarium role quests as a tank, a healer, and a DPS job.
I'm going to become a mentor. I'm going to become a mentor and get the mentor mount. I will become you, chat. I will become you. I will become the mentor. And then I'm going to go into Asmon's chat and be like, actually, that would be quite erroneous, Asmongold. Are you but a sprout? Oh, you're flexing my Astrope, dude. Dude, Survivor, dude, thank you for 3 tier 3 subs. It's like fucking 4. That's like 21 subs or something. Thank you, man.
You also need to have completed every duty in the game, including extreme trials, as any of those can pop up in your mentor roulette, with some exceptions being ultimate, savage, current expansion extreme trials, and binding coils. So the idea behind the mentor roulette is to send mentors into groups where their guidance and advice would be needed most. So like groups of sprouts who maybe they're struggling, maybe they just need someone there to give them a little help, right? AKA Serene on Reddit said of her experience getting this mount, people generally didn't want advice, didn't listen to advice if given, and sometimes even responded with hostility to tips, even if they were performing very poorly. So I learned to, most of the time, silently endure if duties weren't going well. Well, I do that already, and I'm not even doing the mentor roulette. But they did say,
literally, I'm just imagining somebody giving advice and being like, whomst asked? Whomst asked? Yeah, thank you very much, Alligan. Thank you for the 2 months. Did I ask you? Why don't you shut the fuck up?
that in synced extreme fights, people were more receptive to advice. So, I mean, I guess getting your ass beat by a grandpa of the cabbage people might teach you a little lesson in humility. Yeah.
Papa Smurf. Dude, you know how I literally learned how to be good at WoW? You know when I got good at WoW? I genuinely got good at WoW in, started. My journey started in Hellfire Citadel. Or in, Jesus, my brain. In Hellfire Ramparts, in Ramps. I was playing Warlock, and every other global... No, not WoD. Not WoD. Burning Crusade. Ramps. I was in Ramps. I was in Ramparts. I just forgot the name for a second because I'm old. I was in Ramparts, and I was life tapping in between every global. So I like Shadow Bolt, life tap. Corruption, life tap. And there was another Warlock named Babies in the group. And he goes, "Hey, I'm not trying to be rude, but why are you life tapping so much?" And I literally went, "I don't want to run out of mana." And he basically said, well, you're not going to run out of mana. He goes, it's good that you're not scared to life tap. He said, a lot of warlocks are scared to life tap, but you're not going to run out of mana. He goes, you mind if I give you a few tips? He goes, it's totally fine if you don't want them. And I was like, yeah. And it was Burning Crusade, so he basically told me, so press Shadow Bolt. But he taught me how to play warlock. I ended up joining his guild. I started raiding with him, and that's how it all started for me. That's literally how it all started. Yeah. He's like, basically was like, yeah, so they're going to tell you to put up Curse of Elements. He was like, we'll find some other idiot to do that. You just press Shadow Bolt and be you, baby. Became a great warlock.
Yeah, they said that synced extremes counted for about 10% of the duties they completed towards their astrope amount. They said it always took a lot of time and effort and typically ran for the full 60 minutes. My clear rate for synced extremes was pretty decent. I took the time to type out and teach the fight mechanics almost every time I got queued into an extreme, and I would try to coach players who were struggling but played a crucial role in the fight. Many, if not most teams, were pretty receptive and understanding about needing to respect the mechanics. However, there were also many, many lost causes, times where no amount of instruction or guidance would be sufficient to get a team to clear. Now, I asked Rasumi here about their experience getting this mount, and they said, I set aside like 5 months and did it all day until I was done. On good days, I got around 60 to 80 roulettes, and on bad days, I got like 10. It really depends on the content you get on that day. Sariba Yoko here also got the astrope and told me that they had been doing it more casually, like 5 or 10 times a week. Sariba said, I only went in mentor roulette if I'm in a daddy mood. Morble, the blue mage mount. So to get this one, you must be...
There's a blue mage mount? They should have made it blue. Wait, I want that.
Be in a fully blue mage group with silence echo turned on and undersized party turned off. You have to do Binding Coil of Bahamut turn 5, second Coil of Bahamut turn 4, final Coil of Bahamut turn 4, then in Alexander, Burden of the Father Savage, Burden of the Son Savage, and Soul of the Creator Savage. Again, it cannot be unsynced. So that's one of the things that I think gives this mount the staying power. It's always cool because it will always require effort. I asked my
I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get that in like in a week. I'm gonna get that like this week. I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get that like this week, dude. I am, dude. You don't believe me? I'm gonna get it like this week. You know what's always a good omen? When you pause a video, the content creator's face that you paused is usually the right reaction. Look at Zepla's face right now. She believes in me. She's like, yes, Rich, you're going to. I believe in you. Zepla believes in me. Looks more like a Pago. You think?
my friend Laramian, who you see here on the Morble, how they would rate the difficulty of these blue mage raids compared to doing the raid normally on...
How come every time I pause Zepla's face, it does look like she's mad at me? I'm getting defeated by a VOD.
Savage, and they said that in general, the blue mage savages are a bit easier for blue mages as we can cheat mechanics, but it can vary. I said, if it's not that bad, then why don't we see more people doing it? Like, is it just hard to find a blue man group? And they said, yeah. You need to go out and hunt down a group for it in Discord. I have recently seen a small trend of people gathering up in Party Finder, but they wait a long time. But who knows, in the time before Endwalker, there may be more blue mages doing it. The legacy stuff, that includes the legacy
I'm going to get that mount this week. It's not even going to be hard.
tattoo, the legacy Gubu, or the legacy Chocobo. So any proof that you played the game when it was asked. When everybody was like, don't play that game, it's not a good game. You were like, I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to play that game anyway. Well, now you have cool stuff to show for it. According to this post on the FF14 subreddit, the game actually punished players who put any effort into playing it. If you earned too much XP, you got fatigue, and basically you earned less and less XP until you earned 0. The only thing you could do was stop playing the game you paid for and was paying monthly for on top of that. The game actually punished you for playing it, which is just impressive. So the
Somebody tell Blizzard quick. Somebody tell Blizzard quick. They need to know. That is genius.
mount, the tattoo, and the chocobo are impressive because you've had to put up with an impressive amount of bullshit. I asked my friend here to tell me what 1.0 was like, and they said, I can't describe how many f***ing giant enemy crabs I killed in La Noscia to finally get high enough to go to Karthus. And then I went there, and it was f***ing empty. Like, literally nothing there. Just green hills and forests with occasional mobs. There were like 2 or 3 hamlets across this gigantic map, and that's it. No quests, no nothing. The Legacy Chocobo is ultra rare because you had to not only play 1.0, but you had to pay for 90 days, like have a 3-month sub that was active before the game ended, like before the end of 1.0. They basically promised people a chocobo that they would be able to ride after the game came back. But now that the game is good, how prestigious is it to have this ultra rare 1.0 loot? Well,
Pretty
one
cool.
person actually cried on Reddit. I thought this post was really funny. They said, jealousy of legacy players is making me not want to play. Does anyone else feel the same?
Man, I always see this deleted person saying comments like this. This deleted person seriously needs to get their shit together and go play WoW. Rich feels the same. I'm 100% serious. I am 100% serious. If the Final Fantasy devs said, hey, Rich, do you want all the legacy stuff? We'll give it to you right now. I would say no, because I wouldn't want to ruin something that's so special about the game that I care about. Also, the Final Fantasy devs would never do that, and I know that they would never do that because they care about the game too much. You can cap me. You can cap me all you want. You can cap me all you want. I care more about this game than a legacy chocobo. And that's why I deserve the legacy chocobo, right? Because like I don't want it, and I would say no, but it would evoke like memories in people of that, and then they would know about it, and I think it would make the game a lot stronger. But I don't want it. Like they would have to like really like put it on my account, and then I would use it because I want the game to do well, and I know that devs would only give it to me if they think that it would make the game a more positive environment for like all the other players. But I don't want it. That's why I'm worthy.
Anyone have advice or a different way to think about it? Look, imagine having something on your character that somebody else wanted so bad that they're ready to uninstall the game. Like, they're just not even enjoying the game anymore because all they can think about is that thing that you have that they don't have. Like, wow. A mansion in a good spot. Honestly, getting a house at all is pretty big achievement in the current situation with housing, but getting a large house in a good spot.
We got one. We got one, chat. We got one. We literally got one. We got a flex. Snow, thank you for the prime. We got a flex. No, you have a small? Not anymore. Not anymore. We got a big one on the beach. We got a big house on the beach. Yeah, literally we. It's the FC house. Yours in medium. It's fine. It's the motion. It's the motion of the ocean. It's fine. It's big enough. It's above average, wouldn't you say?
And that is a rare opportunity. That's a door that doesn't open every day. But what is a good spot? Well, not facing any other houses. I would think like on top of a cliff, maybe overlooking having a nice view. It's so funny because Fantasy 14 players are always like, we need neighborhoods so we can be around other players' houses. Okay, well, where's your house? Well, not in front of anyone else's house. They're gonna ruin it. My view. So right now, yeah, because the housing system is terrible and there's nowhere near enough supply for the demand, it's extremely hard to get a house at all, as I said. I personally never seen a large house plot for sale ever, except like maybe when the residential district is brand new. So I think the people with the large plots probably got them when the ward opened, or they were insanely lucky. Now, they did confirm that in Endwalker, they will be adding a lottery system, which, believe it or not, the lottery will be more fair. If that gives you an idea of just how jacked the current system is. So if you really want a large house right now, I would suggest go to a mansion that's owned by an FC and just knock on the door and ask if Daddy Warbucks will adopt you. The Gill Sink mounts, there are two of them, the 50 million Gill mount.
We got two on the list.
And the 25 million Gill mount, the Golden Vessel of Ronka. Now, my friend who has both of these said that they rarely use the Ronka.
This one's very inappropriate. I am disgusted by this mount.
One because it's less fancy, but people love the Gilded Mikoshi mount, and they said they get positive comments on it all the time. I even got invited to a G-Pose session once to provide the confetti for a party picture. They said that they had made a lot of Gil, being an early adopter to the Bozja content, selling tons of fragments, and also selling mounts and minions from Unreal Trials. I asked, did it break the bank for you to buy it? Or was this like pocket change for you? Right, like I basically asked, like, are you rich? And they said buying both mounts took away like 30% of my total wealth. So I did not need to eat stale bread. The Pteranodon mount.
How much gold does Zepla have? Or Gil? How much Gil does Zepla have? 90? 100? I want to have 101. I want to have more Gilded Zepla.
This is from an absurd amount of crafting and gathering in the firmament of Ishgard. For a while, this mount was so rare, I had to go to a JP server to find the only person that I knew of who had the mount for my mount video. The Pteranodon requires 500,000 points towards your Skyward score on every single crafter and gatherer job. Now, a friend of mine, Vlithra, has gotten it and told me that it was probably about 3 months of grinding. The crafting part, honestly, aren't that bad, they said. It's the gathering part that takes time. And I asked, how many hours a day, like, would you say? This is an estimate, but I'd say around 550 to 650 hours, so around 6 to 7 hours a day on average. I think that with the passing of time, more people have been able to get this mount, but it's still one of the rarest ones. Like, if you're looking at FFXIV Collect,
yo, Draydon, thank you for the
that are unobtainable. I mean, it represents this colossal achievement, and that's why it's really cool. For me, though, I don't really craft or gather hardcore, so if I were to get it, I guess my playstyle would have to drastically change. So those are the 10 sort of categories of things that
Zepla.
I think are most impressive.
I kind of want to go fishing.
Do you have any of these? Are there any things that you think I
want the shark mount that Summit has.
List that I did not? And why do you think that? Because I thought through this very carefully, you know, considering all the factors that I mentioned at the start of the video. It has to have long-lasting prestige. It has to be not just rare, but also notable, recognizable, you know. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Let me know if maybe you have tips for other people that are going for some of this stuff. If you like this video, please consider supporting the channel on Patreon or on Twitch. You can also support the channel for free by clicking the subscribe button or by sharing this video with your fellow Warriors of Light. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Zepla's the best. Bye.